on tour in Portland in a hotel room.
Very in Portland right now. How is the weather right there?
It's raining. Surprise.
Well, it's always raining over there and in Seattle and all this part of the United States. Here in Mexico City, it's also raining in this summer autumn phase of the year. It's also raining over here. How do you feel about not the weather, but this era and this new record that you are releasing to the audience?
Um, I feel really excited about it. I feel like we've never been closer and tighter as a band, and um, we feel like we're just kind of growing together. And this record really feel like is a is a perfect representation of who we are as a band and where we are as people. And really, it really feels like it's connecting, with the fans and the people that have heard it. So it just feels really good. It feels like everything is in its right place.
It is difficult to understand it because I think that you haven't seen each other in this pandemic era. How to be tighter and more solid like a band with all these lockdowns and pandemic restrictions.
Well, we did a really good job of just kind of staying in touch. I mean, I was pretty isolated there in at my house, and I probably talked to like one or two of the guys in the band for like 2 or 3 hours on the phone at least once a week during the pandemic. And Jim and I, spent a lot of time just going on hikes and hanging out together and listening to music and stuff like that. So we're like a family at this point. We've been together for a long time, and we have a lot of shared history. And so it just, the longer it goes on and the closer we get in some ways.
Tell me the main differences between the production and the creative process of each song, because if you listen to Love, 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 it's quite different from regular scheduled programming, and the themes are like two opposite parts of the life. How do you get to that?
Well, we just kind of take each song as it comes. We try to get through all the ideas, and we kind of let the song kind of tell us what it needs to be, you know. And we just kind of follow our instincts and our inspiration, and just kind of let the flower bloom as it wants to, you know what I mean, and not control it too much. And the themes are just kind of like stuff we talk about, all the time, like just the spiritual aspect of life, and trying to relate to it and trying to make sense of all these existential questions, and knowing that like some of the answers can be so simple, and we're in this era where everybody's so divisive, and the phones and the computers seem to be making the communication more angry and more divisive, and it's separating all of us. And sometimes, like, as an artist or somebody who cares about like that spiritual aspect of life, it's sometimes it can be so easy. It's just like, God, we got to just like come together, because our differences aren't nearly as big as our similarities. And people have been talking about this from the beginning of time. Whole religions have been made by it. But I think as like artists and musicians, like, that's kind of that's our role in society, is to kind of like bring a light on these things, spiritual things and questions and stuff like that, and and express emotion that people are feeling. And so that's what happened on this record.
It's funny because I was talking with Carlos Santana last Friday, and he was talking to me and saying to me things very similar as you are telling me right now. And I was thinking about this line of Leonard Cohen's The Future, that love is the only engine of survival. And I think that the music is some kind of love for the community, and it's a kind of shamanic era or phase when you are in a stage, when you are in a live act and the people are singing along with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this like animal like base instinct, to connect. And I think we all really actually want to connect, and we want to be loved, and we all want to give love. We all want to be seen and heard, and we all want to like connect with one another. And I feel like music has that ability to just kind of strip all the anxieties and fear and all that stuff away. And for that moment, you can just kind of connect with the music and connect with all the people that are hearing the music. And it is a spiritual thing, it's hard to put words to, honestly. It's almost like magic. Sometimes I describe music as like a dark art. You're not quite sure how you're doing it when you're making it sometimes, and you look back on it and you be like, God, that moment was magical. I'm not sure why it feels so magical, but like whatever happened in that room in that moment, or on that stage in that moment, really felt like otherworldly. And if somebody asked you to recreate that moment, you couldn't. That's why I call it a dark art, because it's like we don't even really have control over it. We just show up and try to be present, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. The gypsy says it's like a goblin, like in Spanish it's duende. It's like this sort of mix of charisma and empathy and other things that are in the environment when you are making music. And I think, as you were telling, that it's a dark art. Maybe it's the only art and the theater that you can recreate and recompose and do it again over and over, making the exact formula. How do you feel about this formula of this record right now? Is exact and perfect formula for this time, or you are waiting to be in a live act to make some sort of perfections on this?
Well, I mean, it's hard to like really know what it is until you play it in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
And when you make it, you get so close to it, and you have so much knowledge of the details that you can't see the big picture. You're missing the forest through the trees or whatever. And then you step away from it, and then you learn how to play those songs live, and you try to recreate them as best as you can. And then only when you play them in front of a big audience do you really know what it is. And so it's a sense of discovery for us as a band. We're discovering what these songs actually are now. And it feels really great because people are reacting really well to it. It feels like it's of the moment. It feels like we're making music that was meant to be made for this moment in time. It feels like people are connecting to it in that way. And so the shows have felt like this kind of collective cathartic experience for everyone, because we're all feeling the same way. We're all struggling with these mixed emotions and the way the world is right now. And it's kind of a way to get together and just kind of like collectively experience it together.
How do you see the people from this stage? Do you see it ecstatic? Do you feel it like you said, like a cathartic reaction? Do you see like they are releasing from the anxiety of the last month? How do you experience the audience? Are you playing in the stage?
Yeah, I mean, so far on this tour, it seems like people are really, really, really like appreciative and feeling very grateful, and there's a lot of joy that's happening in the shows. And so it definitely feels like there's nothing stopping us from having a good show. It's like, it's just like inevitable now. People are so excited, they're so happy and grateful.
I'm curious, as you see the audience from the stage, do you see the people experiencing more and the phones going down, or do you see more phones taping you and them in the experience? Because I have this theory that right now the people is more embracing the live act than embracing the technology when you are in a festival or you are in a concert.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I think you're right. I think your theory is spot on. Um, there really hasn't been that many phones in the crowd, and people aren't nearly as distracted as I remember them being. You know, when I look out in the crowd, I see a lot of attentive faces, and they're really present and really like soaking up the moment for all it is. That's very true. I hadn't even really thought about that.
And I think that you are experiencing the same that when you are with the band, when there was no smartphones and there was no this kind of technology, that it's always you wanting to see that the other people see you in the concert, not you in the concert, experience the music and all the environment.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's very true. Uh, it's funny because like the cell phones are such a hindrance in so many ways to experiencing life in the moment, and it's really taken a lot of the sacred moments in life away. But like I feel like the live experience is one experience it hasn't done that yet, you know. And people get a photo or they get a video of a moment of the show, and that's cool, but it still hasn't taken away the the special nature of playing live music, you know. It's one of the
The
only
people are
places.
the people are going to discover all the songs of these new records. How do you feel that will be the experience of releasing all the records? Because we are also in a time that we are misguided to hear one single and another single in a very short time, maybe like fast food. And I think that right now, like as the phones, the people are also experiencing and demanding to hear, to listen to all this new art in a complete form.
Yeah, it's hard to know how people are really experiencing. I feel like it's you know, we've been around so long and it's so different, and every generation kind of has it like a different way of experiencing things, and we have young fans and older fans. Um but you know, we released the Waterfall 2 kind of as a surprise. We released the whole record on in one day with no singles, nothing, no early release tracks, and that was really cool because that was in the middle of the pandemic. Um, and then we kind of felt like we just do it a different way with this record and see how that works, you know, and see how it feels. Um, and so there is something kind of nice, like it's like when you're watching a television show and the episodes come out once a week, and it leaves you yearning for more. You're like, oh, I can't wait to hear the next song, or I can't wait to see the next episode of this TV show. So that's cool, you know. So they both kind of work, and I feel like for both these records, it's the right way to do it, you know. And it does feel like the music is really speaking to the moment, like thematically and spiritually speaking, and just like the social commentary and stuff like that really feels like of the moment. So it feels like it's connecting, you know.
I think that the key of this is connection and empathy, and I know that you struggle and you are fighting always with this as your career were going and evolving on all these years. I think that the last time I had the chance to see you on a live act, what it's like 10 years ago, and I regret that. So when are you going to the festivals and where are you coming again to Mexico?
I don't know. We always talk about coming to Mexico. We love Mexico. We feel like the people there really like get us and like love our music, you know, and we feel like we're a, you know, a good match with Mexico. But I'm not quite sure, you know. It's been hard for us to tour the last 4 or 5 years for various reasons, you know, different solo projects. We kind of took a break as a band, and then the pandemic hit. So we're trying to figure it out. If you can help us, let me know.
I will do that. And also, I know that you also tour with Roger Waters, and I think that the people are also waiting to see Roger again here in Mexico. How do you feel about the last time you were on tour and you came to Mexico and do this awesome Deb tour? So I think that the people will be glad to see you either with My Morning Jacket or with Roger again.
Yeah, yeah. The last time I was there, I think we spent a couple weeks there. Um, you know, flying in and out, playing like Monterrey and all the cities around Mexico City. And I just love Mexico City. It's such a wonderful, beautiful place. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think Roger's going to tour again next year at some point. Um, and then I don't know about after that, but hopefully we can get back to Mexico City. I know he's a huge fan of the Mexican people, and loves Mexico City. Obviously, you know, like all the major shows he's done down there have been epic. Um, so yeah, maybe we can both come down, tour together.
Well, Bo, but it was a pleasure to speak with you, and I hope to see you in Mexico or in each part of the world. I think that right now we have the ability to travel again and to see this shamanic moment to be with the people and healing with the music.
Absolutely. Hopefully I'll see you around.
Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you.